Good morning. I'm Ray Johnston, the VDOT project manager for the Huguenot Bridge. I'd like to welcome everyone to the ribbon cutting ceremony for the first half of the new Huguenot Bridge. We have some distinguished guests here today and some distinguished speakers. Jerry McCarthy, the former member of the Commonwealth Transportation Board, is here today. I'd like to recognize him. All right. For this ribbon cutting, we requested a beautiful day. We specified a beautiful day with a little breeze, the James River to be low, and slowly flowing downstream for this ceremony. We should have been more specific about the temperature, but it is a gorgeous day. This new bridge is a combined effort of many years of hard work by a lot of people for funding, design, and construction. I would, on behalf of the project team, like to thank all of you that came out today in the heat to honor the stakeholders involved in this great project. The stakeholders are Richmond City, Henrico County, Skanska USA Southeast, their subcontractors and suppliers, the residents nearby residents that have put up with their construction, and the 25,000 drivers that use the old bridge every day. The consultants who were involved in the design, Amon Whitney for the bridges, Louis Berger for the roadways, William Reckhart for the utility relocations, and the construction consultants, MBP, G&O, and NXL. I'd like to thank Verizon and Windstream for the utility companies who just recently relocated their utilities from the old bridge to the new bridge. The Richmond City Parks, which run below us, the VDOT Central Office and VDOT District Office employees, and most importantly, the taxpayers of Virginia. This gathering here today is part wake for the old Huguenot Bridge we're saying goodbye to, and a graduation for the new half of the new Huguenot Bridge. If the old bridge could talk to the new bridge, it would be like myself talking to my teenagers, getting ready for their driver's license or going off to make their place in the world. I think the old bridge would tell the new bridge to stand tall and straight, and that it was in the most beautiful location in the Richmond area. The old bridge would say, be respectful of the river, watch out for texting and cell phone drivers who may bump into your sidewalks. That the old bridge, Papa Huguenot's design, was done in the old school way during the time of the slide rule, with no input from computers or satellite-based survey instruments. It would tell the new bridge to watch its salt intake and to save money for the future for maintenance and repairs in its old age. The new bridge would reply, or maybe just did, and be overly confident and headstrong. It would remind Papa Huguenot that it was a bit taller and sleeker than the old bridge, that it was designed with computers, had its own website with hundreds of followers, a Flickr site, tweets written about it, and a 24-hour traffic camera that beams video of its traffic worldwide. That the old Huguenot Bridge was outdated, its joints were locked up, and that it was a miracle it was still standing. In fact, I think I can relate more to the old bridge than the new. I looked at an inspector's diary of 1 year ago today, June the 29th, 2011, to see just how far the project has come in 1 year. The inspector's day started at 5 a.m. with the pour of the Pier 2 footing. That was 250 yards, about 30 trucks of concrete. At 4 p.m., Skanska poured a section of the abutment. The inspector worked from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. that day. That's 14 hours. Those days were not uncommon for the field staff that built this bridge. And today is a day we recognize and celebrate their hard work and the work of all the individuals involved in this project. Thank you. Our next speaker is Tom Fulton. He's the person responsible for the contractors you have seen out here today and for the night and day work they've been going on for the past year and a half. Welcome, Tom, Project Executive for Skanska USA Civil Southeast.
Thank you, Ray, and good morning. Today represents a critical point for us in the construction of the new Huguenot Bridge. We're approximately 20 months into a 36-month contract, and traffic's being placed on the first 2 lanes of the bridge. In order to reach this critical point, VDOT, Skanska, engineers, subcontractors, and numerous suppliers and stakeholders have worked together to overcome the normal issues that we run into on construction projects, and some more, I think, and still maintain the previously committed June 2012 opening date. Some of you may not know, but last summer and fall, this project was severely delayed. We had 3 major flood events in the river. 2 of them were on the eve of footing pours, and we had to go back in and redo several weeks of work that we'd previously done. And in addition to that, we had some major utility associated delays on the north side of the bridge. We had a 4-foot diameter sewer main there, 15 feet in the ground, and when we uncovered it, we found some things that were unforeseen. The result was the project was delayed by 3 months. And I think at one point we thought that we would be standing here this fall putting traffic on the bridge 3 months later than what had been previously committed to the public. However, understanding the importance of keeping the project on schedule and meeting this date, the project team, Skanska's people, together with VDOT and the engineers, various other stakeholders and the utility companies that are involved in the project, we put our heads together to come up with innovative ways of avoiding the delay and advancing the project. This included the design and installation of a fairly complicated utility bypass system, altered traffic patterns, different means and methods to de-link critical construction activities, and anything else that we could find to advance the project. It also included working day and night shift. That wasn't originally planned. If you look behind me, there's basically half a mile of bridge deck before you get to the other side. This bridge deck behind me was constructed between March 22nd and May 3rd of this year, in a very short time frame. All of this wouldn't have been possible without the collaborative efforts of all of the parties involved. I'd like to thank each of them for their efforts in making this happen and making it a successful project thus far. Ray has mentioned many of the players, but special thanks to VDOT for allowing us the opportunity to build this bridge and working with us through the many issues that we run into. Design engineers, some of them are here today, but Ray has mentioned them, and they have been a big help to us in finding solutions rather than problems. Public utilities, Henrico and Goochland, and also the City of Richmond. Also our subcontractors and suppliers who provided additional resources at short notice to make this happen. And don't want to forget the local residents and the commuters whose commute was affected. They graciously accommodated the construction. Some of them even took time to contact us to provide positive feedback, and that was much appreciated. The neighbors on the north side, on the north approach, we've been constructing utilities and roadways in their front yards for several months now, and we've had a very positive relationship with them. That makes our life a lot more comfortable. And most importantly, I'd like to recognize the group of guys that are standing behind the cameras, the superintendents and the workers that put the work in place. They came to work every day through heat of summer, cold of winter. They persevered through whatever conditions they encountered and got the work done. And without them, it couldn't have been done. It's a testament to their work that this project has worked 20 months and 200,000 man hours without a single recordable or lost time incident. We've had nothing in excess of a first aid case on this project, and I thank them for that. Without their individual effort and coming to work and looking out for each other, that wouldn't have happened. That's the only way that we can accomplish that. Really, the relationships that we have enjoyed over the last 20 months are what have made the difference in the product that we're looking at today. At Skanska, our goal is to build our project safely, on time, free of environmental incidents, and to leave a satisfied customer and leave the area in better condition than what we found it. And I would like to think that we have done that thus far on the project and will continue to do so, but that can only be done with everyone's cooperation. While we've reached this critical point today, we still have a lot of work to do. We have another 16 months left on the job. We have the other half of the bridge to build, and we're looking forward to continuing our work with each of our partners and the neighborhood and a customer with whom we enjoy a great relationship as we move forward. So thank you.
The Huguenot Bridge is a critical link between Richmond City and Henrico County. In fact, where we're standing is just about on the line between Richmond City and Henrico County. Our next speaker is the Mayor of Richmond, the Honorable Dwight C. Jones. Mr. Jones.
Well, thank you, Ray, and to everybody who's here. This is a wonderful day for the RVA. It's a wonderful day for the region of Richmond, and I'm delighted to be here. The former speakers obviously were not as hot as I am, and so I'm not going to hold you as long. I think that this is a wonderful day for our region, and it illustrates to us that our region is inextricably bound by our proximity. This bridge begins in Richmond, ends in Henrico, or begins in Henrico, ends in Richmond, and it just shows the importance of the regional cooperation that is absolutely pertinent to any future growth and development of our region. So this is a wonderful day. It's a wonderful day for Richmonders and for people who live in this region. You know, I'm a praying man, and whenever I would get on the Huguenot Bridge, I would pray. Because the bridge was so narrow, and because of the many times the bridge had to be closed for inspections, I had some cause to wonder if getting on one side would allow me to get off on the other side. And so this is a great day because we have a wonderful bridge that replaces a 62-year-old bridge, a wonderful bridge that will have pull-offs, which means that when you drive on this bridge, you don't have to pray that you don't break down on it. You can pull off and have somebody come and take care of you. Also, a pedestrian-friendly bridge, and a bridge that will be friendly to cyclists just in time for the races in 2015. So this is a wonderful, wonderful day for us. I want to give some attention to the fact that it did not happen by any one jurisdiction or by any one entity, but by the work of many people. I see Jerry McCarthy in the audience, who served on the Commonwealth Transportation Board and always was a champion for regional projects and Richmond projects. We want to thank him. Also see Delegate Waddell in the audience today, and we're glad. We know that this is a neighborhood, this is your neighborhood, so we're glad to see you here today. And so we're grateful for this wonderful day, for this wonderful opportunity. This brings added value to our region, and we're excited about today, but we'll be even more excited when the other part of the span opens, and we'll be able to open the completed Huguenot Bridge for traffic from one side to the other. Now, for those of you who are concerned about this heat, I just want to tell you that there is a hotter place someplace else.
On the north end of the bridge behind me, we have Henrico County. Please welcome the Honorable Patricia S. O'Bannon, Tuckahoe District Supervisor for the County of Henrico. Welcome.
Well, today is a classic Virginia moment. It is the type of thing we live for. We're opening a new bridge, and how many people does it take to open a new bridge? It takes about 60 or 70 people standing around talking about how great the old one was. And with that in mind, I wanted to give you a little history. Now, my involvement began in 1996, and Delegate Panny Rhodes called me and said, this is a very important project. We need to move on it. And then City Councilman Joe Brooks and I had many meetings with many citizens. And I wanted to point out that I feel Joe is here today with us. This was one of his major projects. He thought it was very important, and he certainly convinced me how important this was. But he really didn't have to work that hard because this is a much needed bridge. In 1611, the folks that came out this way, the Huguenots, came here because they were told to or were forced to. They wanted to be near the ocean, but they were brought here in order to make a barrier between the English colonists and the Native American Indians in the area. And they were seeking refuge from religious oppression. And I think that's interesting that they became the barrier between Native Americans and the English colonists. And then when the bridges were built, they ended up naming one after the Huguenots, a bridge that joins both the north and the south banks of the river. But in 1699, they came here, and the governor at that time did do that. He used them as a buffer. But it was in 1911 that the first real bridge, the first bridge was built just down that way, and it was a toll bridge. It was built in 1911 by George Craghead Gregory, a prominent local attorney and developer, and he dreamed big. He was trying to build a streetcar from the lake at the University of Richmond to Bon Air, and that was part of his plan. And the old bridge was there until 1950. Now that's 1911, and this is 2012, so that's only 101 years that there's even been a bridge here. So we can stand around and be thankful for the old bridge, because it was certainly an improvement. The old Huguenot Bridge was definitely an improvement over the West Ham Bridge. It wasn't a toll bridge. It was bigger, it was wider, and it was the greatest bridge of that day. And that's what I think we see here today. The citizens had tons of input in this. They wanted the sidewalks, both sides. They wanted the bike lanes. They got the bike lanes. They didn't want lighting. There's no lighting. You don't see big poles and lighting. Well, these are things that the citizens told us they wanted. So, those who are here today, this was very well thought out. That's why it took so long, from at least my standpoint, since 1996. So 101 years from that first bridge, and that's what we're celebrating today, the history in our area. Thank you so much for having us, and I look forward to cutting that ribbon so we can ride our bikes and walk across the river. Thank you.
Our last speaker is responsible for the quality, cost, and timeliness of engineering plans for construction projects across the Commonwealth. When you look in the spec book and see engineer, this is the guy. So please welcome VDOT's Chief Engineer, Mount Curley.
Good morning. What a great day to be in the Commonwealth. Mayor, I want to assure you that any bridge in the Commonwealth that's open, it's safe to go across. I had the privilege of being the state bridge engineer for 10 years, and we'll close the bridge down. So you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about this bridge, but any bridge in the Commonwealth that's open. Praying is good, sir. I'm not going to repeat a lot. I agree with what the mayor said, the supervisor said, all the great people. I did want to point out, where's Tom Hawthorne? Tom right there, he's our district administrator here in Richmond. It's his staff that does all this. I also wanted to point out Russ Martin. Where's Russ Martin? Russ is over here. When I was a state bridge engineer about 10 years ago, Russ was the person who was pushing this project forward as we got with the citizens and various people trying to move this forward. Recently I read an article about the old bridge. It said it started construction in June 28th of 1948. That's 16 months before I was born. We call that the baby boomer bridge. Virginia has a lot of baby boomer bridges. This is one that we've solved. We have a lot of other things that we need to solve. Things have changed since we built that bridge. We built the old bridge for $1.3 million. This bridge is $54.5 million. And of course, gas back then was 18 cents, now it's $3 and some cents. There's a difference in there. So the next few months, you're going to see activity around the old bridge as we take that around. VDOT's going to retain a portion of the old bridge for incorporate into a historic display of the bridge, so people in the future will be able to see it. And although we're celebrating the new bridge today, we're going to give an opportunity for the community to come out this weekend. There's a good article in the paper this morning that talked about that. I liked when it said, bring your own shade. Maybe we can get a job here, written umbrellas here, and make a little money, Ray, in there. So we hope that you'll be able to come out, parking to be on Riverside Drive. I also invite you to turn over your little brochure you got. You'll see a little poem there. Ray found that poem. It's about a bridge builder. Now, my background is in the bridge program. This is a poem I'm well aware of, talks about building bridges. Another thing that we say in the people who deal in the bridge area is that a bridge to a road is like a diamond to a ring. The diamond we have here shines bright today, and in about, what is it, Tom, 16 months? In 16 months, it's going to shine twice as bright. Thank you for being here. Mayor, Supervisor, Mr. McCarthy, I have to recognize you for your support during his time on the Commonwealth Transportation Board. It was a very, very tough financial time in the Commonwealth, and Mr. McCarthy's efforts to retain the funding on this bridge. I invite you to come forward. I invite the elected officials to come forward. We're going to cut the ribbon right now. Thank you very much. I'll count down. 3, 2, 1, cut.
There you go.